Bono has delivered a recorded reading at Shane MacGowan's funeral in County Tipperary, joining thousands who've gathered to say a final goodbye to the Pogues frontman. The U2's singer was virtually present at St. Mary's of the Rosary Church in Neenah to recite a letter from Paul to the Corinthians, a biblical passage which is often read out at Requiem Masses. "When I was an infant at my mother's breast, I gurgled and cooed like any infant. When I grew up, I left those infant ways for good. We don't yet see things clearly. We're squinting in a fog, peering through a mist. But it won't be long before the weather clears and the sun shines bright. We'll see it all then, see it all as clearly as God sees us, knowing Him directly just as He knows us. But for right now, until that completeness, we have three things to do to lead us toward that consummation: trust steadily in God, hope unswervingly, love extravagantly. And the best of the three is love," the 63-year-old said. Bono was unable to attend the funeral in person, as he is currently in residence at Las Vegas Sphere. Another famous person to deliver a short reading was Johnny Depp, who read a prayer of the faithful that focused on peace, love and forgiveness in honor of his late friend. Bob Geldof also recited a prayer of the faithful which centered on poverty and hunger. Irish President Michael D. Higgins and Imelda May, who had visited Shane in hospital a week before his death, were also in attendance at the emotional memorial. Meanwhile, Nick Cave performed a rainy night in Soho at the farewell service, after hailing Shane as a true friend and the greatest songwriter of his generation following the news of his death last week. Later in the Mass, Glenn Hansard and Lisa O'Neill performed the Pogues' most famous song, Fairy Tale in New York, which originally also included the vocals of the late Kirsty MacColl. Shane died aged 65 on November 30 after a long struggle with poor health. He had been diagnosed with encephalitis, a condition which describes inflammation of the brain, after being hospitalized last year, and had also suffered from shingles and dental issues. His funeral procession began in Dublin on Friday before traveling to Neenah, Tipperary, where Shane spent much of his childhood. The homily for the church service was given by F.R. Gilbert, who described the late folk musician as our modern-day bard, as well as the social commentator, the songsmith, the son, the brother, husband and friend. He also paid tribute to Shane's partner, Victoria Mary Clark, adding, "I know that he adored you, and you him," before declaring she cared and caressed him, right to the very end. Follow Mirror Celebs on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube and Threads.